Have you ever been around someone who smiles at you, speaks sweetly, and acts like a friend, but something deep inside tells you that it's all just a facade? It's almost like an unsettling energy, a feeling in your gut that something isn't right, but you can't quite put your finger on it. Have you ever sensed that dark, hidden resentment lying beneath the surface? That quiet hostility wrapped in a friendly package, one that makes you uncomfortable even if nothing outwardly wrong happens? We've all been there, that moment when someone's kindness feels just a little too forced, their praise seems hollow, or their interest in your life feels strangely insincere. It's the subtle signs that we often ignore because we want to believe the best in people, but deep down, something doesn't add up. You feel it, but you can't always explain it. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. Because this hidden hatred often hides in plain sight, right in front of us, making us second-guess ourselves and the people we trust. In today's video, I'm going to help you uncover the signs that someone close to you might secretly harbor negative feelings. It's not just about recognizing who might dislike you on the surface, it's about seeing the hidden hostility, the unspoken jealousy, and the resentment that can quietly grow over time, even from those you trust the most. These signs aren't always obvious, but once you start noticing them, you'll never be able to look at certain people the same way again. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to protect yourself from these toxic relationships. Stick around until the very end because the last sign I'll reveal is the most insidious of all, and it might just turn everything you thought you knew about your relationships upside down. It's a game changer, one that will make you rethink who really has your back. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos that will help you navigate your relationships with clarity. Now, let's dive right into it. It's time to open our eyes and see the truth. Let's get started. We've all seen it. Someone smiles at you, their words are sweet, and they seem genuinely happy for you. But then, something about their smile feels forced, hollow. You know the type. Their mouth moves, the muscles tighten, but their eyes stay cold, distant, or even slightly narrowed. It's as if they're trying to mask something they don't want you to see. It's that nagging feeling that something's not quite right, that their smile is only skin deep. A smile is supposed to make us feel warm, seen, appreciated. But when it's fake, it does the opposite. It leaves us with a sense of unease, as if something's being hidden behind that friendly exterior. You can almost feel the emotional distance in the air, even though they're standing right next to you, talking to you. It's subtle, but it's there. Fake smiles aren't always easy to spot, and they can be incredibly deceptive because they look just like the real thing. However, if you pay close attention, you'll start to notice the subtle signs. When someone's smile doesn't quite reach their eyes, that's when things start to unravel. Their eyes remain unmoved, even when their mouth is showing you those kind expressions. The energy doesn't match the gesture. It's like their body is telling you something they're trying to cover up with words. The next clue is their body language. When the smile is forced, often the person will stand a little too stiff, their posture rigid, as if they're holding something back. You might notice tension in their shoulders, or they might avoid direct eye contact with you. There's a disconnect between what they say and how they physically respond. Even the way they stand can give you away, maybe their feet angle away from you, signaling that they're emotionally withdrawing from the situation, even though they're physically present. These subtle signs of a fake smile are often the first clues that someone isn't being entirely honest with you. You might hear them saying all the right things, but there's something deeper at play. Their words might be positive, even supportive, but their body language and nonverbal cues scream something completely different. It's almost like their face is saying one thing, but their eyes and energy are saying another. And here's the thing, once you start noticing this disconnect, it's hard to ignore. The more you observe, the more you realize how often people use fake smiles to hide their true feelings. It's a protective mechanism for them, an emotional mask to avoid revealing what they really feel. But for you, it's a warning sign, an indication that something is being concealed. These small, subtle cues are the beginning of a pattern. They don't always show their true emotions directly, but these signs will help you read between the lines. Fake smiles may seem innocent at first, but over time, they can chip away at your trust and create a sense of unease. They're often the first crack in the facade of someone who might secretly harbor feelings of jealousy, resentment, or even outright hostility. Now, let's talk about sarcasm. It's something that many of us use in casual conversation, often as a way to joke around or break the ice. It can feel lighthearted and playful, right? But when sarcasm is aimed at you, it takes on a very different meaning. What starts as harmless teasing can slowly seep into something much darker, turning into a covert way of belittling you. You might laugh it off at first, but over time, it starts to feel less like a joke and more like an attack. Sarcasm, when used against someone, doesn't always feel funny. Instead, it has a bite to it. You might find yourself questioning whether they're really joking, or whether there's something more to it. That's the danger of sarcasm. It wears the mask of humor, making it difficult to confront. After all, who wants to seem overly sensitive or unable to take a joke? But behind that smile and laugh, there's something deeper. It's a hidden hostility. If you've noticed that someone always uses sarcasm to target your weaknesses, your insecurities, or even your accomplishments, that's not just humor. It's a tactic, one carefully disguised as a joke, that's aimed to undermine you. They know where your vulnerabilities lie, and they exploit them, all while hiding behind the shield of just kidding. They might call it humor, but the truth is, it's designed to knock you down, piece by piece, until you start doubting yourself. These remarks may seem small at first, easy to brush off, but it doesn't take long for them to accumulate. When sarcasm targets something you hold dear, something that's personal to you, like your appearance, your achievements, or your struggles, it stings in a way that can't be easily dismissed. It feels like they're trying to tear down something important, and the more they do it, the harder it becomes to ignore. They've figured out how to wound you without leaving a visible mark, and they keep coming back to that same well of your insecurities, all under the guise of humor. The real danger is in the repetition. Sarcastic remarks that repeatedly hit a little too close to home aren't just harmless jokes. Over time, they create a sense of discomfort, even resentment. At first, you may think they're just messing around, but after the 10th, 20th, or 100th comment, you begin to feel the weight of it. What they claim is a joke is actually passive-aggressive behavior, a way of putting you down without ever having to face the consequences of outright hostility. Each sarcastic comment erodes your self-esteem, bit by bit, making you feel less secure about yourself. It creates doubt, where once there was confidence, and slowly but surely, it chips away at the trust in your relationship with that person. It doesn't have to be an obvious attack. No, it's far more insidious. It's the comment that feels like it's meant to hurt, even if the words don't directly accuse you of anything. And the more it happens, the more you start to question your worth in their eyes. Sarcasm, when used consistently as a tool to undermine, is a silent form of aggression. It's hard to pinpoint and even harder to address. But recognizing it for what it is, a hidden form of hostility, is the first step in protecting yourself. And understanding its long-term effects helps you realize that what might seem like innocent humor is actually a slow, persistent poison to your emotional well-being. Sometimes, the attack isn't obvious. It doesn't come in the form of insults, harsh words, or aggressive behavior. Instead, it's far more subtle: sabotage. At first, it can be difficult to recognize because it's not something that hits you directly. But it's the little things that add up, things that seem like mistakes or misunderstandings but begin to feel too consistent to ignore. Sabotage doesn't always have to be a blatant act of hostility. It can manifest in small, seemingly innocent ways that, over time, accumulate and cause significant damage. A person who sabotages you doesn't need to attack you head-on. They know how to make you trip up without leaving a mark. These actions may appear unintentional, even accidental, but they are often carefully calculated, a way to undermine you without ever seeming to do anything wrong. Let's break down a few examples of what sabotage looks like. Maybe it's someone close to you who constantly forgets to share key information with you, information that would have helped you avoid a problem or make a better decision. They might offer bad advice, masking it as helpful suggestions, which, in reality, lead you in the wrong direction. Or perhaps they're absent when you need them the most, claiming they're busy or distracted, but never really offering the support you expect from someone who's supposed to have your back. These may seem like innocent lapses or moments of forgetfulness, but when it happens repeatedly, it starts to look more like intentional sabotage. They hide behind a facade of care, pretending that they're simply too preoccupied to help, but in truth, they're creating obstacles for you to fail or fall short of your goals. It's not a coincidence. It's a pattern designed to keep you from succeeding. Now, how do you spot this subtle sabotage when it's happening? Think back to the times when you needed someone's support or input, and they didn't show up. Maybe you had an important project or meeting, and they missed it without any explanation. Maybe they forgot to mention a crucial detail, or their advice led you to a dead end. They might have brushed it off, telling you that it was just a mistake or a misunderstanding. But deep down, you sensed that it wasn't accidental, it was deliberate, even if it wasn't outwardly malicious. This can be especially difficult to confront because the person responsible can always claim it was an oversight. But when these incidents start to add up, you realize that this behavior is not just a coincidence. It's a pattern designed to destabilize you, to keep you from moving forward, and sometimes even to keep you in a place where they feel comfortable, knowing you won't surpass them. The key to spotting sabotage is to notice the consistency. Think about those moments when you needed them to be present, to give you a boost, or to offer something of value. If you find that they are perpetually unavailable at key moments, or their help consistently leads to setbacks, then you are most likely witnessing a subtle form of sabotage. It's important to trust your instincts here. Sometimes, what seems like an innocent mistake is actually a strategy to keep you from growing or succeeding. When someone close to you can't seem to celebrate your wins, it's often because they see your success as a threat. Instead of being happy for you, they try to downplay your achievements, belittle them, or even one-up you. It's a subtle but unmistakable sign of silent competition, a competition that exists not in words, but in actions and attitudes. You might think it's harmless at first, just a casual shift in conversation, but over time, it becomes clear that they're unable to genuinely celebrate your success. Every time something good happens to you, they seem to deflect the attention back to themselves. Maybe you tell them about your recent promotion or a milestone you've reached, and instead of congratulating you, they immediately shift the conversation back to their own accomplishments. It's as if your victory isn't allowed to stand on its own. They'll talk about how they did something similar, or they'll even suggest that their achievement was bigger or better. For example, you might share that you got a new job, and instead of excitement, you get a response like, "Oh, that's great, but did I tell you about the time I got promoted?" It doesn't feel like they're sharing your joy. It feels like they're competing with you, trying to make you feel like your success doesn't matter, or is somehow less significant than theirs. They may act as if they are supportive, but deep down, there's a silent war being waged, one where they need to always be seen as equal, or even superior, to you. This behavior isn't always easy to spot, but when it becomes a recurring pattern, it's impossible to ignore. The person close to you might have perfected the art of masking their jealousy with a smile or casual comment, but when every good thing you experience is met with a subtle shift in attention to their own achievements, you begin to see the competition for what it is. The psychological reason behind this silent competition often stems from deep insecurities. Your success is a mirror they cannot escape. When you succeed, it highlights their own perceived shortcomings, their own lack of achievement. It brings their inadequacies to the forefront, and that makes them feel exposed. Rather than facing these feelings, they deflect by competing with you in silence. Their need to overshadow you, even unintentionally, is driven by their inability to feel comfortable with themselves unless they're in constant comparison with others. This silent competition isn't about celebrating you, it's about them avoiding the discomfort of feeling inferior. They can't truly rejoice in your happiness because it serves as a reminder of their own feelings of inadequacy. And that's where the competition comes in. It's not a verbalized rivalry, but an emotional one. They can't handle seeing you shine because it brings into question their own place in the world, and instead of addressing that insecurity, they respond with actions that try to put you down, even if it's just a shift in focus. Over time, this subtle, silent competition will wear on you. It might feel like you can't win for winning. Every success becomes a battle, and rather than feeling supported or encouraged, you begin to feel like you're always in a race with someone you thought was on your side. Recognizing this behavior early is important because it helps you understand that their inability to celebrate your achievements has nothing to do with you, and everything to do with their own inner conflict. If you find yourself constantly feeling like your victories are met with subtle competition, it might be time to reassess that relationship. Remember, healthy relationships thrive on mutual support and celebration, not silent wars over who's winning. There's a subtle but telling difference between genuine praise and compliments that don't quite land. We all know what a true compliment feels like. It's heartfelt, it carries warmth, and you can feel the sincerity behind the words. But when someone secretly dislikes you, they might shower you with compliments, but there's something hollow about them. They feel forced, almost robotic, like the person is going through the motions but isn't actually connecting with you emotionally. At first, you might brush it off. After all, who doesn't like receiving compliments, right? But over time, you begin to notice that their words just don't sit right with you. It's as though the praise is too perfect, too smooth, almost rehearsed. It lacks that personal touch that makes a compliment feel genuine. And the more it happens, the more you start to realize that these compliments are not really about celebrating you, they're about maintaining a facade. These hollow compliments come with a strange emotional distance. You might notice they're quick, almost too quick. The words might sound positive, but there's no warmth in the tone. There's no spark in their eyes when they praise you, no real joy in their voice. It's as if they're giving you something you deserve, but without any of the real emotion behind it. It's a way to keep things polite, keep things civil, but without ever getting too close. They say what's expected of them, but nothing more. You may hear things like, "Oh, that's nice," or "You're looking good today," but the response doesn't resonate. It feels like they've said it 1,000 times before, without truly seeing you, without caring to feel what you feel. The lack of warmth is the key indicator here. Sincerity is a big part of genuine praise. When it's missing, it's a sign that their words aren't reflecting their true feelings. The impact of these hollow compliments goes beyond just the discomfort of receiving them. They serve a deeper purpose. They're designed to keep you at arm's length emotionally. They give you just enough acknowledgement to maintain a surface-level relationship but never enough to build a real connection. They're emotionally safe for the person giving them because they don't have to invest anything meaningful into the relationship. They can keep the facade going, all while subtly withdrawing any real emotional support. These compliments, while seemingly positive, are an emotional shield. They don't encourage growth or intimacy, they maintain a barrier. You might feel a sense of confusion after receiving them, almost like something is missing, like you've been complimented, but somehow, you still feel unseen. And that's because the compliment wasn't about you at all. It was about them keeping things in their comfort zone, maintaining control of the emotional distance, and avoiding any deeper emotional vulnerability with you. In the end, hollow compliments are a way to keep you in the dark, never letting you get too close. They keep the relationship at a distance, while giving you just enough to make you think that everything's fine. But deep down, you'll start to feel the absence, the emotional disconnect, and eventually, you'll realize that the compliments are just another form of emotional detachment. The final sign we're going to talk about is the most dangerous, hidden resentment. This one can be particularly insidious because, at first, you might not even see it. It hides in plain sight, disguised by polite words, friendly gestures, and a calm exterior. But once you notice it, you can't unsee it. The problem with hidden resentment is that it grows quietly, beneath the surface, until one day you realize how much it has affected you. Someone who secretly resents you will never say it directly. They're too careful, too passive-aggressive to express it openly. Instead, they hide their true feelings behind pleasant words, pretending everything is fine, but their actions, or lack thereof, will tell you the truth. The subtle signs of resentment come in the form of coldness, distance, or even dismissive behavior. Their jealousy and envy may cause them to distance themselves emotionally from you, especially when you achieve something important or reach a milestone. You'll notice that, while they may offer a polite smile or say congratulations, the warmth isn't there. Their eyes don't light up. Their words feel hollow, almost robotic. And when you achieve success, they might downplay it, making you feel like it's not a big deal or that it doesn't matter as much as you think. But even more telling is their behavior when you're going through tough times. Instead of offering genuine support, they may distance themselves even further, or worse, act like your struggles are somehow deserved. They might even start avoiding you when you need them the most. This coldness is their way of saying, I don't care about your success, and I don't care about your struggles either. They're not happy for you, and in fact, your success makes them feel uncomfortable. Hidden resentment can wear you down over time. It's a slow, draining process that can affect every interaction you have with this person. At first, it may be subtle, the occasional cold remark or the quiet dismissal of your achievements. But over time, it builds up. The constant emotional drain, the lack of celebration, the lack of empathy during your tough times, it all starts to take its toll. You'll begin to feel isolated, unsure of whether the relationship is truly supportive or if you're just holding on to something that's actually harmful. The worst part about hidden resentment is that it makes you question your worth and your place in the relationship. You may wonder why this person isn't as supportive as they should be, or why they can't celebrate your wins. And as the resentment festers, it will eventually affect your relationship with them. You'll start to notice that something feels off, and the emotional distance will become harder to ignore. But by that point, the damage has already been done. The relationship will have shifted from one of support and understanding to one of emotional withdrawal and quiet hostility. Recognizing these signs is essential for your emotional well-being. Not everyone who smiles at you has your best interests at heart, and not everyone in your life deserves your energy. People can be deceptive in subtle ways, through fake smiles, hollow compliments, and quiet sabotage. These signs might not always be obvious at first, but once you start to see them, you'll be able to protect yourself from people who are draining your emotional reserves. It's time to take control of your energy. You don't need to waste it on people who secretly resent you or try to undermine you in subtle ways. Set boundaries. Stop trying to win over people who are never going to celebrate your success. Protect your peace, because peace is invaluable, and you deserve to be surrounded by people who genuinely support and care for you. It's not about cutting people off unnecessarily, but it's about protecting your emotional health and being mindful of who gets access to your energy. You don't need to keep giving it away to people who will never appreciate it. Recognizing these behaviors gives you the power to choose your relationships more wisely, to surround yourself with those who lift you up, and to let go of those who hold you back. You deserve love, support, and honesty, not hidden resentment. So take that first step toward emotional freedom, and choose to invest your time and energy in people who truly have your back.